Good evening, everyone. As long as everyone's at their seats, let's get started. Welcome to the 57th Annual Madison Sports Hall of Fame Banquet as we recognize the great athletes and great achievements of our great community. Tonight, we highlight some of the great stories from the past year and welcome 4 new members into the Madison Sports Hall of Fame. We'd like to start by welcoming our guests at the head table. We ask you to hold your applause until the entire head table is introduced. Where's George? There's George. Oh, hi, George. George Marks, ladies and gentlemen, president of the Madison Sports Hall of Fame Club. What did the MC just say? That's all right. Don't worry about it. Dave Ferwerda, Edgewood College's friend of sport. Vic Levine, former president and inductee of Sports Hall of Fame Club. Judy Ferwerda, Edgewood College's friend of sport. Dennis Semrau, sports writer, also ESPN Madison. Marcus Flowers, Madison Area Sports Commission Pat Richter Favorite Sibling Award winner. You know him as Jocko. Mike Jocks, sports director, NBC 15. Genevieve Nashville, Neckerman Insurance Madison Sportswoman of the Year. Melissa Kim, weekend sports anchor, reporter, News 3 Now. We don't call ourselves Channel 3 anymore. We're now News 3 Now. We spent a lot of money with marketing and research, so News 3 Now. Drake Baldwin, Zimbrick Honda's Madison Sportsman of the Year, and Brian Posick, iHeartMedia Sports Director, the voice of Badger hockey. Let's give them a big hand, your head table guests. And now we welcome the class of 2019, the Madison Sports Hall of Fame inductees. Please welcome Craig Anderson. John Krugman. Peggy McCarthy Bailey. Mike Plotz. Ladies and gentlemen, your distinguished guests of the evening. Now we'd like to welcome Edgewood College President Scott Flanagan for tonight's invocation.
Gracious God, we know that whatever we have comes from your abundant goodness. Tonight, we celebrate the accomplishments of those whose performance in athletics has earned recognition. Tonight, we recognize those family members, friends, coaches, mentors, and others who supported their efforts, knowing that none of us achieved solely through our own action. And tonight, we remember in a special way those honorees in previous years who are no longer with us. And so we pray. May those no longer with us and their loved ones find comfort and peace in God's grace. May this event renew our energy for advancing the power of sport in building a life well lived, a healthy community, and a more just and compassionate world. And finally, may this food nourish our bodies and gather us in community, and may God's blessings fall upon those who have prepared and served it. And we ask this together. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Flanagan. Enjoy your dinner. We'll resume the program in about half an hour. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, you keep telling me, but like.
Okay, great.
Right down at the end. So
Do you want to put them?
you want me to bring them up here? Or you want me?
I
They don't
What
know
would be
what's
better?
happening. They don't know what's happening.
Yeah, you just want to keep it over there?
I'll just keep it over there. and
Okay.
we'll
Where are
hand
they,
it to
where are
them.
they sitting? Are they down there?
They're right.
Okay.
Yeah, they're right down here.
They've always
Yep,
been down here.
right down
Okay,
here.
okay. Great.
Okay.
Thanks, Rick.
And then you got, spent 2 years training, now she knows where everything is. Yeah. Who's important, who's not. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I have your attention at this time, we'd like all the past Hall of Fame inductees to gather on this side of the stage. We'd like all the Special Achievement Award and Grant Award winners to line up on this side of the stage. Fred McCormick will line up the Special Achievement and Grant Award recipients. Otto Pauls and Peg Mueller will round up the past Hall of Fame inductees. So, if you are a past Hall of Fame inductee or Special Achievement Award and or Grant Award winner, please come up front this time. Now we'd like to welcome to the podium the president of the Madison Sports Hall of Fame Club. Here's George Marks.
Thank you, Jay. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody here to the 57th Annual Sports Hall of Fame Banquet. Thank you for a great turnout. I would also like to give a big welcome to our 4 inductees and all our award recipients tonight. I would also at this time like to thank all our sponsors. As I call out your name, please, your tables, please stand up for us. Edgewood College. Flad Development and Investments. Madison Area Sports Commission. Neckerman Insurance Services. Zimbrick Honda is also one of our sponsors, but they could not get anybody here tonight. And a special thanks to Strand Associates for sponsoring our inductees, and they're a great donation to the club. I know our secretary came to me before I started to get up here, and he said, "Why don't you say something about yourself?" I said, "The night's not about myself." He said, "You've been there at the meetings all year long, and nobody knows anything about you." I'm a born and raised Madisonian. Graduated from La Follette High School and the UW. I coached at Madison La Follette for 25 years. I know most of the people that are up here. I know a lot of the people that are in here, and I am very honored to be the president. Okay. I would like to close my portion with an invitation to you to join our club. You can visit our Facebook page and our website. We meet every Tuesday during the school year. We follow the school system's schedule. If they have a snow day, we don't meet. We have speakers every week, ranging from high school coaches, UW coaches. We had Michael Crone there this year. We have lunch. It's at Schwegler's, Parktown or Westtown. So please join our club. It's a wonderful time. Now I'd like to turn it back over to Jay Wilson, WISC TV Sports Director.
Thank you, George. You bet. Appreciate it. Thank you, George. People asked me 2 questions tonight. One, how long have you been emceeing this banquet? And I think the answer is 15-ish years. The other one was, when did you start working in TV in Madison? Mark Shapiro hired me at Channel 27 out of college when I was 22 years old. Now I have gray hair. I got a hip replacement last October. And if I don't wear my glasses, I can't see the podium. So I hope you're having a good day. But it's been a great run, and it's been a great honor to be in your homes every night. It's weird. My job is to kind of put people to sleep every night. So I've been doing that for 40-some years. So rest well tonight. One of the special segments of our evening is to welcome back the Hall of Fame inductees from the past who are with us this evening. And we ask, well, I say this every year, applaud whenever you want. So here they are, some of the great names in Madison sports history. From the class of 2018, UW baseball player and WIAA official Ron Crone. From the class of 2018, Paul Swanson, La Follette Athletic Director and WIAA Tournament Coordinator. Class of 2017, Taekwondo Master Dr. Jae Bok Chung. Dr. Chung wants us to wish a happy birthday to Mark Meyer, who's with us tonight, so happy birthday. Madison East multi-sport athlete and UW basketball player, class of 2016, Karen O'Malley Crowley. Class of 2015, Tim Healy, Madison East multi-sport athlete. UW and professional hockey player, class of 2015, Barry Richter. UW wrestling coach, class of 2014, Dwayne Clevin. Western Michigan and Central basketball player, class of 2014, Larry Pedricine. Class of 2013, La Follette and Western Michigan basketball player, Steve Amundsen. Class of 2012, UW baseball player and Memorial baseball coach, Tom Bennett. Olympic and Paralympic curling coach, class of 2012, Steve Brown. UW and Madison West cross country and track athlete, class of 2012, Ellen Olson Wormuth. You know who's sitting there waiting for me to call his name? UW volleyball coach Pete Waite. Thank you for your patience, Pete. Memorial multi-sport athlete and UW hockey and baseball player, class of 2011, here's Rob Andringa. Class of 2010, WIAA and Olympic team physician, Dr. Conrad Andringa. And Phyllis Andringa should be in every Hall of Fame there is for taking care of those two guys. Class of 2010, UW baseball player and Edgewood baseball coach, Greg O'Brien. Class of 2009, Madison Memorial hockey coach, Vic Levine. Class of 2007, Memorial Badgers NHL hockey player, John Bice. Nice try. Madison Bowler and youth high school baseball coach, class of 2007, Jim Nye. Class of 2006, multi-sport Edgewood coach, Dorothy Goldsworthy. Class of 2002, all-around Central athlete, sports official, and recreational sport administrator and advocate, Dave Kelleher. Class of 2002, UW Whitewater men's basketball coach, Dave Vandermeulen. UW rower and coach, 2001, her class, Sue Ela. UW and NFL football player, class of 2001, Tim Jordan. Also from the class of 2001, Madison athlete, coach, and school administrator, John Olson. Class of 2000, Otto Poles, UW baseball player and three-sport collegiate game official. By the way, Otto and his wife Barb celebrated their 64th wedding anniversary yesterday. Barb's going right to heaven. Otto is still negotiating. But you still have time. Class of 1999, La Follette and UW basketball player, Dr. Gary Anderson. East and UW football player, class of 1999, Steve Underwood. Multi-sport West coach, Peg Mueller, class of 1996. Class of 1995, two-time U.S. Open champion, Andy North. My brother got one of those square strike wedges, man. They're the best. SquareStrikeWedge.com, right? .com, okay. UW rower and coach, class of 1991, Randy Jablonic. UW football, baseball, and track and NFL football player, class of 1986, here's Stu Voigt. And UW athletic director and NFL player, Pat Richter, class of 1976. We also want to keep in our thoughts tonight a couple of members of the Hall of Fame that we lost over the past year, Don Hafman and Ron Holtzeder. We keep them in our memories tonight. There are over 200 members of the Madison Sports Hall of Fame. They're all incredibly talented, all unique. They all have amazing stories of accomplishment and service on and off the field. And we want to welcome you again to the 57th Annual Madison Sports Hall of Fame induction banquet. The first class of this Hall of Fame went in 1963. That was the year the Badger football team with Ron Vanderkellen and Pat Richter made it to the Rose Bowl. A gallon of gas was a quarter, and the Badger men's basketball team had been to the NCAA tournament twice, ever. Well, a lot has changed since then, but some things are still the same, like the great tradition and the exceptional athletes and athletic performances that we get to highlight each year in this event. We are going off the program. Peggy, Greg, Peg and Greg Mueller, please come to the stage. Right now, we're wasting time. Let's go. It has come to our attention that after 13 years of organizing and running this banquet, Peg and Greg are stepping aside, allowing others to take the reins, or as they say, having all the fun. They've done a phenomenal job gathering the information on the award nominees, organizing the banquet, and writing up the minute-by-minute timetable, which we just messed up. On behalf of the Madison Sports Hall of Fame Club members and all of the inductees and those who have attended the banquet for the last 13 years, thank you for all the work you've done. Now back to the script. Time now for the Grant Award winners. With that, we welcome back Madison Sports Hall of Fame Club President George Marks.
Thank you, Jay. I'm honored to present the 2019 Otto Breitenbach $500 Grant Awards. For those who are unfamiliar with Otto, he was born and raised in the city, playing football for and graduating from Edgewood High School and the University of Wisconsin. As a physical educator, he taught and coached in Middleton, and in Madison. Many years at La Follette. Was one of my teachers. Later, he joined the UW Athletic Department, serving as an associate director for 15 years. Otto was a longtime club member, serving as its president several times. Our first grant recipient is Girls on the Run, represented by Christine Benedict. This 10-week after-school program is designed to enhance girls' social, emotional, and physical skills while preparing to compete in a 5K run. The grant will be used to purchase running shoes, running shorts, and other items needed in the program. Our next grant's going to go to the Madison Ice Arena, represented by Andrea Chaffee. Madison Ice Arena provides ice time, skates, individual equipment, and sleds for the special hockey and sled hockey programs. These funds will be used to buy new sleds and replace other hockey equipment to offer a safer playing experience. Our third grant recipient is the Salvation Army, represented by Chris Casey. This group runs an open gym program designed to get kids off the street into a safe place to learn positive coping and leadership skills while having fun playing basketball. The monies will be used to purchase basketballs and jerseys. The final grant recipient is Warner Park Football, represented by Steele Morton. The group serves the north and east side of Madison, promoting a motto of keeping kids in cleats and off the streets. The grant will be used to replace old equipment so that safety for the players is enhanced and participation fees remain as low as possible. Finally, the club hopes to continue the promotion of youth sports through these grants, so if you represent or know of a program that needs financial assistance, go to our website to download an application for next year. Thank you.
Thank you, George, and congratulations to our grant award winners. Tonight we're going to recognize some of the great sports teams and individuals who have made their mark over the past year. They are the Madison Sports Club Hall of Fame Special Achievement Awards, and to present the FLAD Development and Investment Special Achievement Awards, this guy's still going to anchor the 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock sports tonight, so here we go. Mike Jocks, the sports director at NBC 15.
Jay, thank you so much. You know, I always think how awesome Jay is, and if I wasn't busy at 6:20 and 10:20, I would watch Jay Wilson. You should not, but I would watch Jay Wilson, okay? Thank you for all you do. The Dean of Madison Sports. Keep thinking that Peg will find a way to uninvite me or find a way not to, but now that you're retiring, I can be worry-free this year that I'll be back hopefully next year. I decided to change my hair this year, gone are the spikes. My wife said I had an ugly haircut for the last 20 years, so I actually had to get a haircut. And somebody actually told me, this is my boss, told me that I look professional. And if you watch me on TV, you know that's not the image I'm trying to portray. So we'll see how long it lasts. All right, time to hand out the FLAD Development and Investment Special Achievement Awards. Our first honorees are all from Edgewood High School, where I'm told the neighbors are helping them light their football field. Did I miss something? Community spirit, right? I'm glad that went over well. All right. We welcome Edgewood Athletic Director Chris Sweatler, Coach Z, who was my live guest on NBC 50 News at 6. And you have some amazing coaches, Coach Z. First up is Joe Ring, the coach of the boys golf team at Edgewood, who just won their third straight WIAA state championship yesterday. That's Edgewood's fifth WIAA state golf title to go along with the sixth they won before 2000 in Wissa. More golf? Yes, please. Peggy Gerhardt is here from the girls golf team. The Crusaders won the 2018 Division II state championship by 60 strokes. Yeah. This was Edgewood's 14th state championship title, most of any girls team in WIAA history. The next most has 5. 21 state appearances. Peggy will start her 18th year as coach. Is it 18 now? 17 years as head coach. No seniors next year, so they're going to try to repeat again. Good luck. Boys swimming and head coach Dan Lindstrom. What an incredible year and what an incredible bunch of young men. Every team has a goal to win state, and this team certainly did. I personally had a chance to see them at practice and see what a great bunch of young men they truly are. This was their 2nd state title overall and 1st since 2014. Girls swimming and head coach Emily Schwabe. Another dominating performance in the pool by the Crusaders. I mean, dominating. Edgewood won their 4th consecutive state title. This is Emily's 6th year at the school and has won 4 state titles. I checked, that's pretty good. And her coaching philosophy, have fun, work hard, surprise yourself. I read it on the website. And finally, boys tennis, coached by Lori Lukens. Coming into the 2018 season, the boys tennis team lost 5 seniors from the 2017 teen state runner-up squad. If you're familiar with high school tennis, you know that's half the varsity lineup. Still, their goal from day one was to make it back to teen state. Despite predictions from outside the program that said they had no chance, they did it and won 2 incredibly close duels in the state meet. I'm told the final state match took several years off Lori's life. Thank you, Edgewood. My daughter will be a Crusader next year. Please take good care of her and put in a good word with Coach Staub for me. Hey, Coach C, don't forget I won 4 straight Maisel titles with girls basketball at St. Denis. So if you need an assistant, I'm your guy. Next up is Wes Chaco from Madison West. West is a West senior and a University of Wisconsin recruit. And check out this resume. He's a WIAA Division I champion swimmer in the 100 backstroke, a repeat winner in the state meet, and set a state meet record. He also won in the 100-meter butterfly in the 2nd fastest time in D1 history, 400 free relay with another state title meet record, and the 200-meter relay in a state meet record. He was named the Wisconsin State Journal All-Area Swimmer of the Year and first team All-Region in the 400 free relay, 100 backstroke, 100 butterfly, and the 200-meter relay. Dear Lord, Wes, I'm tired from just reading that. Good luck at UWS. Kira Lee is next from Madison La Follette and is one of my neighbors on the east side of Madison. She's going to go to the University of Central Florida, and I am extremely jealous. I'm told there's no polar vortex at Central Florida, Jay, so she's good. At least that's what I'm told. Kira is a Wisconsin State Journal, Wisconsin Prep First Team All-Area Long Jumper and Triple Jumper as well. The 2018 Division I State Champ in the Triple Jump and runner-up in the Long Jump. Also, the 2019 Division I Champion in Triple Jump, setting a all-division record with a triple jump of 41 3/4, which is awesome. Congratulations. And finally tonight, Hunter Lewis from Stoughton, who can't be here tonight because he's competing in the Pan American Games. Usually we don't allow absences, but he's competing in the American, so that's fine. We gave him a special excuse. But he is a Division I champion at 138 pounds, which was my birth weight. Thank you for laughing. He won the 2018 and 2019 and had a record of 55-1 over those years. He was also the State Journal Wisconsin Prep All-Area Wrestler of the Year. Congrats to Hunter, who is near Lima, Peru somewhere tonight. And congratulations to all our Special Achievement Award winners. And hopefully, with Peg gone, I'll see you next year. I hope. Thank you, Jay.
Jocko will be appearing at the Holiday Inn West for the rest of the week. I just realized the difference between you and me, other than the hair.
Right.
You have to go back and do the 9 and 10? Mm-hmm. I told Kevin Lewis, I said, do the 10. So when you're the dean of sports someday, use the power of your office wisely and you can go home.
Does that mean you're retiring?
Did I say I was retiring?
No, not yet.
No, I'd resign before I retire. But just stay tuned to your local news channels just to see when that happens. Now it's time for the presentation of the Madison Area Sports Commission Pat Richter Favorite Sibling Award. Here to present that from ESPN Madison and News Publishing, Inc., Dennis Semrau.
That's weekly newspapers, Jay. Got to spend the weekend on lacrosse for state track. Good evening. Congrats to all the award winners. Craig, we go way back. It's always a pleasure to be here. It's an honor. I look across all the distinguished guests that make Madison such a great place. And there's two people, the late Jim Mott, who was my mentor, and John Olson, who this is why I'm doing what I'm doing for the good of high school sports. So thank you, John. Yeah, I've been doing this long enough that, yes, I've covered a lot of these people in high school, and this guy included. Marcus Flowers is a very well-deserving recipient of the 2019 Madison Area Sports Commission Pat Richter Favorite Sibling Award. And Pat, yes, this award was aptly named after you, and I think Marcus is a very good recipient tonight. For those not familiar with the five Flowers brothers, he's the oldest, including JJ, Jason, Jonte, and Michael. Marcus, they all were raised in the city of Madison, but he was actually born in Chicago. He started in basketball at La Follette and at Beloit College. Two-time second-team all-conference player for La Follette. Now the father of three daughters and a son, so he's obviously been playing man-to-man defense at first. Now he's been playing zone for a few years with four. Just completed his sixth season as head basketball coach for the girls at Madison Memorial High School. He's also the dean of students there. Calls his wife Marissa a superstar for helping keep the family's hectic lives in gear. Tonight, anniversary number 15. Happy anniversary. My anniversary was last Friday, and I was in lacrosse for state track, and as Marissa said, it's our anniversary. There's got to be a sporting event going on somewhere. Marcus credits his mother, Angela, who cannot be here, for being his inspiration, giving him an opportunity to make a difference in our community. He said, I don't know where it'd be without her resilience, her determination. She wanted something better for her boys to get us out of Chicago, where he was born. She gave us an opportunity to grow up as young men in an environment where we weren't risking our lives just to go to school every day. Marcus said the family was watching TV one night when they heard something about Madison being voted the best place to live in the country. Before he knew it, they were on a bus, Greyhound bus, and they were in Madison. He was 12 years old at the time. After graduating from La Follette High School, he attended Beloit College, where he earned a degree in sociology, was a 1,000-point scorer, more importantly, twice named the Midwest Conference Defensive Player of the Year. That shows, and that's the approach he takes as a coach now. First job was in admissions at Beloit College, and then he served in the People program at UW-Madison, and was an academic advisor and decided, well, with sociology, I have to be a professor. I want to work with the kids. So he decided to return to grad school. And at the time he was in grad school, JJ was in school, and so was Michael, playing basketball. Rumors about the Flowers brothers owning the Surf still live to this day. He said, I felt I owed a debt to the people who helped me on a positive path to come back and play the same role with other kids. A group at the Atwood Community Center did what they could to keep kids off the street, and that was huge. He maintained strong relationships with all of the adults from those days. After he got his master's degree in social work in 2009, a job opened at Wright Middle School in the fall, and he had a couple of great first years. The first year, President Obama shows up. He got to shake his hand and basically say, welcome, and couldn't say much more, right? It's pretty intimidating. The next year, of course, was Act 10. After 2 years in high school, he wondered, is this what it's going to be like? Things have slowed down a little bit since then. But after 5 years at Wright Middle School, he moved over to Madison Memorial High School. And admitted as a La Follette grad, it was kind of tough trading red and silver for green and white. Still La Follette's in his blood, but he said if it wasn't for his daughter, they're living in the Memorial School District, he wouldn't have done it. His high school career began at La Follette, where he served as a varsity assistant for 2 years before returning to grad school. Then he started coaching his oldest daughter. And when that group got to high school, there was an opening on Pat Jost's staff, and 2 years as an assistant. Now he's been the head coach there for 6 years. Not for some injuries last year, they might have been making Memorial's first state tournament appearance at the Rush Center. I told him if they get there next year, I want a picture of all 4 Flowers brothers with him. That would be priceless. He loves his job as an educator and coach, where every day is different and has this new set of challenges. He said, you get to ride the roller coaster with kids and be an advocate. You also get to hold them accountable and be a stabilizer in their lives. Wow. It is my distinct honor to present the 2019 Madison Area Sports Commission Pat Richter Favorite Sibling Award to Marcus Flowers.
The Edgewood College Friend of Sport Award is next. We welcome the Madison Sports Hall of Fame Club Board Director, who had 512 wins coaching hockey at Madison Memorial. Here's Vic Levine.
Thank you, Jay. And again, I would like to congratulate all the award winners. And I'm going to be very fortunate this year. I will be home for my 49th anniversary at the end of June. Dave and Judy Forwerda, with their daughters Jessie and Mandy, volunteered and dedicated their time, home, finances, and passion towards growing and developing girls hockey in the Midwest, starting in the early 1990s. Dave and Judy started the Wisconsin Challengers hockey program to provide a place to play for a multitude of elite girls from around the Midwest. There were virtually no opportunities in Wisconsin for girls to play hockey besides being on boys' teams where they were left out. With the help of several University of Wisconsin women's club team members and the guidance and help of others who had started girls-only programs, the Forwerdas recruited girls from 9 to 19 to compete against other girls' teams. From the first team that competed at the 19 and under division, at that time the Challengers had one 19-year-old, which put them in that category, where they took their lumps. Their numbers grew, and within a few years, the Challengers were fielding teams at each girl's age, U12, U15, and U19. Teams qualified for the USA National Hockey Championships numerous times, and they won the U19 championship in 1996, and they were runners-up in 2003. The Challengers merged eventually with the Madison Capitals in the early 2000s. The Forwerda family would adopt over 45 girls during the season, providing shelter, food, and a team to play on for families from Iowa to Baraboo, St. Louis to the UP, and beyond. For many female players, this is the first time ever playing on an all-girls team, a first experience of what girls and women's hockey was like. Judy and Dave began to lobby the University of Wisconsin to start a women's hockey program, similar to the highly successful Badger men's hockey program. After several years and many meetings, and with lots of others jumping on the growing bandwagon, as well as the passage of Title IX, the Wisconsin women's hockey program was launched. The very first captain, and in that year, 1999 to 2000, they rotated captains every game. But the captain of the first game, Bridget Buchholz, was one of 3 Challenger players on the team. She took the first puck drop in the first game of the program and won the draw. And I just found out Dave Forwerda still has the puck. Dave and Judy are still very much involved with local sports. Dave is a hockey on and off ice official, while Judy is an off ice official, as well as continuing to work with USA's hockey development camps. She has also been coaching high school softball for over 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored and pleased to honor this year's Edgewood College Friend of Sport Award to Dave and Judy Forwerda.
The Neckerman Insurance Madison Sportswoman of the Year Award is next. Pleased to welcome my colleague at News 3 Now, the winner of the Best Dressed Award this evening, Melissa Kim, for that presentation.
At least I get some award tonight. Okay, that's cool. Everyone's like talking about their anniversaries. I just thought I'd share this story real quick. I went on a first date last week, and we're talking about college basketball, and the guy's like, we're talking about Greg Gard, whatever, and the guy's like, who's Greg Gard? And I was like, this date is probably over now. Just an aside. So everyone's celebrating their anniversaries. If anyone has any interested guys out there, I will be taking first dates. Anyways, so thanks for having me back, even after all that dating story, whatever. I'm really honored to be here again. It's really important to me to be able to promote, especially female athletes, especially in the Madison community. I've had the pleasure of awarding this award for the last 3 years. They've typically been seniors in the last couple of years, but this year we have a freshman, so obviously you know she's kind of a big deal. Now, Genevieve Nashhold, she's proof that good things come in small packages. She's like 5'2". I totally hear that. I'm wearing like 5-inch heels right now. And she's a cross-country runner at Madison West. Now, her very first high school cross-country meet, it was also her first ever competitive race, she won it by 51 seconds. And I just found out tonight, she got hit by a car the day before, okay? So she got hit by a car, had a couple gashes, casually run out, win her first race. It's totally fine. So 51 seconds. Imagine if she hadn't gotten hit by a car that day. She would have like smoked the other girl completely, probably. And she also won the WIA Division I state meet this year with a time of 18 minutes and 10 seconds. The next fastest girl was 16 and a half seconds behind her. So she's really winning these races by a lot. Pretty big margin there for cross-country running. And she's won, of the 11 races she's won this year, or run this year rather, she's won 9 of them. So she's got a pretty good record to start out. And her secret, I just asked her, why do you like to run so much and how are you winning these races? She simply said, I like to run fast. So a pretty good answer there. And also, in addition to winning state this year, she also was named the Gatorade Wisconsin Girls Cross Country Runner of the Year. Again, as a freshman, that's for the entire state, so the best in the state. Very impressive. And she's also pretty smart, works hard in the classroom. She has a very high GPA, 3.8, not bad, all while volunteering at an animal rescue center because she told me she loves cats. And so again, just a freshman. We can't wait to see what she has in store for us for the next 3 years. Hopefully no more getting hit by cars and actually winning races on your own there. And so again, this year's Neckerman Insurance Madison Sportswoman of the Year, Genevieve Nashhold of Madison West. Congratulations.
Genevieve, the car that hit you, it wasn't a Honda, was it? No, it was not a Honda. Our next award is the Zimbrick Honda Sportsman of the Year. Let's welcome iHeartMedia Sports Director and the voice of Badger men's hockey, Brian Posick. Congratulations.
I'm going to miss you guys. The Muellers, who constantly email me to tell me to keep everything under 3 minutes. This one actually timed it out. I think we're good here. As you all know, the city of Madison has produced some fantastic hockey players over the years. Hall of Famers like Rob Andringa, Mark Barron, John Bice, Mark Johnson, Bob and Gary Suter, not to mention Ryan Suter, Brad Winchester, Adam Burish, Kirk Dobbins-Beck, and Baldy Fiskus, among many, many others. I don't know Baldy Fiskus, but he was one of the first inductees. We've had some fantastic baseball players in the day as well, like Hall of Famers Gus Burwell, Jimmy Dodge, Dave and Nobby Kelleher, Otto Poles, Rick Reichert, Pat Richter, and Red Wilson, just to name a few. For the last 4 years, Drake Baldwin has been a standout hockey and baseball player at Madison West. A finalist for the Wisconsin Hockey Coaches Association High School Player of the Year award this past season, Drake was named first team All-State after finishing second in the state with 49 goals and fifth with 70 points in 24 games as a senior. In 89 career games with the Regents, Drake tallied 134 goals and 202 points and was named Big 8 Player of the Year as a junior and senior, as well as the city's most valuable player this year. He also helped Team Wisconsin finish runner-up at the USA Hockey National Championships a couple of years ago. An outstanding catcher on the baseball diamond, Drake fondly remembers his days playing youth ball for the Renegades on the west side and wanted to thank Coach Derek Murphy for helping him grow as a baseball player and a person. Derek was Drake's coach for a number of years while he was a youngster and has been on the Regent staff as an assistant the last few seasons. Drake also played quarterback on West's freshman football team, and he's a very, very good student. He's made the honor roll each of his 4 years, recently won the WIAA Scholar Athlete Award for West High School. His 4-year grade point average is 3.96, and he plans to study business while playing Division I college baseball at Missouri State next season. Drake chose to play college baseball rather than hockey because he wanted to spend his senior year at West with his friends and transition to college immediately after high school rather than move out of town and play junior hockey elsewhere for a few years. Drake also spends his spare time volunteering, whether it be with camp invention lessons or with his mom's kindergarten class. When I asked Drake who he looks up to, who's his role model, he didn't hesitate. He said his mom. Bridget is a single mother who's provided support any way she could and sought out the best coaches, camps, and competition so that he could get better. And Drake wanted me to make sure that I thank you, Bridget, for a job well done. Congratulations, Bridget. Nice job. And tonight, it's my pleasure to present the Zimbrick Honda Madison Sportsman of the Year Award to Drake Baldwin. You got it? All right. Thanks, Bridget.
Now the highlight of our evening, the 2019 induction of the Madison Sports Hall of Fame class. Our 4 new members took very different paths to get here. In a little bit, we'll hear their Hall of Fame stories, and you'll see how remarkable all of their careers were, certainly Hall of Fame careers. They've all made tremendous contributions to our community, from thrilling us on the field of competition to serving our community in many ways. We ask our inductees, as their name is called, to please stand, then be seated again as your video presentation begins. At the end of the video presentation, George Marks and Otto Poles will present our inductees with their brand new Hall of Fame plaques. And now, introducing the class of 2019, the 57th edition of the Madison Sports Hall of Fame. Tonight's first inductee, Craig Anderson.
Prior to his senior basketball season, Craig was asked to think about his high school career. When I finish, it will have been 13 years with an Anderson on the team at La Follette. What I want to do as the last Anderson is to give them something to remember us by. The La Follette basketball program has been at least partially defined by the Anderson legacy, bookended by older brother and previous inductee Gary and today's inductee. Craig grew up in the Eastmoreland neighborhood, the youngest child of Leroy and Dolores Anderson. His parents, older brothers Gary, Steve, Dean, and Ross, and older sister Lori greatly influenced Anderson's athletic development. At age 4 or 5, Craig would tag along with his brothers to watch them play or play with them. His interest in sports was spiked because they had fun and they were successful. His dad, mom, and Lori offered constant support and encouragement, which Anderson believes helped him reach his potential. Etched in Craig's memory are early successes at Breeze Stevens Field in football and baseball. He can still feel the competitive thrill in winning the Madison Ford punt, pass, and kick as an 8-year-old after weeks of practice and dreaming about standing on the podium. Playing for Bormans, which represented the East Side in the City Midget Baseball Championship, is a fond memory as well. Basketball, however, quickly took over as the sport of choice when Anderson started playing at the East YMCA. The staff was welcoming and encouraging, and a court was always available for play. By 6th grade, Craig was on a team of 8th grade All-Stars and played in the state championships when he was in 8th grade. Competitive basketball honed his skills on the home driveway court as well. Dean Anderson noted that we used to play one-on-one in the driveway. The games were up to 31, and we'd get to 30 and then let Craig catch up. When he got to 30, we'd score to beat him by 1. We could always stop him by making him go left. Afterward, he'd be out there by himself practicing. I knew right then that he was going to be good. Craig quickly realized that his brothers were trying to make him a better player and that he needed to practice his shooting skills. Campion summer basketball camps gave Anderson a fun week away from home to spend with good friends and great coaches. Yet Craig believes that he did not really understand that he was pretty good until former inductee Pete Olson asked him to play on the varsity as a high school freshman. From the beginning, Olson made him play volleyball so that he improved his jumping and timing. The coach constantly pushed Craig to be a better player, promoting the values of dedication, desire, and discipline. Although by his senior year, Anderson was an accomplished volleyball player who had gone to the state championship 3 times and was offered many scholarships to play in college, he always wanted to play Big Ten basketball. Many basketball accolades were showered on Craig for his play in the City and the Big 8. He was selected First Team All-City 3 times, First Team All-Conference twice, Second Team All-State as a junior, and First Team All-State as a senior. His senior year, he was selected as a Converse National High School All-American and to the Milwaukee Sentinel All-Time High School Team. Craig was La Follette's leading scorer when he graduated and still is the school's all-time leading rebounder. Legendary area coaches marveled at Anderson's playing. East coach John Boyle said, "If he was just a shooter, he still would have been a tremendous basketball player, but he can do it all." After a game in which Anderson led La Follette to the win with his shooting and rebounding, Janesville Craig's Stan Dufresne commented, "What else did he do? Carry the equipment?" Hall of Fame college coaches Bobby Knight and Lute Olson lined up to recruit him, but just about everyone believed that Craig would follow his 3 brothers to play for the University of Wisconsin. His dad explained to a reporter, however, that "I'm sure Craig felt people would be comparing him to his brothers. He's pretty much within himself, and I don't think he wanted that." Craig said, "I sat at home every Sunday, and my brothers would always bring their laundry home. I said to myself, I want to be on my own." Saying no to assistant coach Bo Ryan was especially hard, but in the long run, he believes that was the right decision. Choosing Lute Olson's Hawkeyes required Anderson to become a role player on a very successful Iowa team which won 20 games each year, finished as Big Ten runner-up twice, and participated in the NCAA 3 times, making the Sweet 16 his junior year. Craig played a bigger role each year, where he was often the first guy off the bench. By senior year, he had become a starter for Hall of Fame coach George Raveling. Raveling noted that Anderson earned a blue-collar image here. Nobody appreciates Craig except his coach and his mother. He does all the little things right. He's scrappy, rebounds hard, and chases loose balls as if his life depended on it. Graduating with an MBA in marketing, Anderson had opportunities to play overseas, but thought, "I've been living a fantasy for 4 years with people bending over backwards for me. It'll be good for me to get back to where things are real." In 1985, Craig married high school sweetheart Jan, who was a loyal supporter during his career. They will be celebrating their 34th wedding anniversary this month. He and his wife love spending time with their family, daughters Marie and Monica, son Tom, son-in-law Matt, and granddaughter Ovidia, as well as traveling when they're not working. While working for Sun Prairie's Hallman Lindsay Paints as a sales representative the last 22 years, Anderson has shared his sports knowledge with area youth. For 10 years, he coached the Monona Grove junior varsity basketball team and assisted with the varsity, and worked with the very successful Randolph AAU basketball team. In addition, he was the assistant coach with the Monona Grove volleyball team, and he's officiated for 10 years. Reflecting upon his induction, Anderson recalled that his father always told him that if you surround yourself with good people, you will be successful. He said that this humbling induction means I've played with some pretty awesome teammates on some exceptional teams. I am truly honored to be mentioned in the same breath as all the past and future inductees. The Madison Sports Hall of Fame Club and Strand Associates Incorporated are honored to welcome Craig Anderson into the class of 2019.
And please welcome into the Madison Sports Hall of Fame, Craig Anderson. Our next inductee, Jack Krugman.
In 2010, Wisconsin State Journal sports columnist Tom Oates contacted 50 knowledgeable Madisonians asking them to rate the best male all-around athletes they had seen compete in the city over the years. Take one guess as to who made it. That's right, today's inductee was listed number 25. John, twin brother Jim, older brother Don, and sister Cindy, now deceased, lived on the east side with parents Gary and Evelyn. All the boys grew up playing competitive sports in the parks because it was free entertainment. The Madison Recreation Department offered a wide range of sports. They were always at the park doing something. John remembered that his first youth championship was in the 1962 Midget Division softball throw. Over the years, Dad and Mom were always supportive and encouraged John to play sports. Dad, who died last September, was, according to family lore, quite an athlete in his youth. A bout with polio relegated him to being a sports spectator, and he quietly found satisfaction through his children's achievements. Gary and Evelyn came to every high school sports event, but Mom, as the referees could attest, was rather vocal at times. After 65 years, Evelyn still lives independently in the family house on Anchor Drive. School competitions began with Schenck Middle School track, and Krugman recalls that Don Grubb had a tremendous influence on his growth as an athlete. Although he had natural skill, Grubb instilled in John the need to set and achieve goals, the need to practice, and the need to always expend maximum effort even in practice. Krugman helped his 9th grade team to the city championship and an undefeated season while finishing second in the 100-yard low hurdles and winning the 800-yard relay and the pole vault. He received the Junior Chamber of Commerce's award in track. At La Follette High School, John met two other mentors, former inductees Otto Breitenbach and Pete Olson. Breitenbach used the tough love, but I will always listen to you approach to channel Krugman's natural talents, which peaked in his senior football season. Don Lindstrom, Wisconsin State Journal sports writer, described it as a record so dazzling it reads like a credential list of a fantasy. Krugman absolutely shattered the 1950 Big 8 scoring record of Alan the Horse Amici with 115 points. He ran for 19 touchdowns, 1,142 total yards with a 6.9 yards per carry, and punted for a 40-yard average. Breitenbach called him the finest player I've ever had. He's not blazing fast, but he can move. He's a good blocker, a fine punter, and a good pass receiver. Individually, Krugman was named to the First Team All-City, First Team All-Big 8, First Team All-State squads, and to the National 1,000-Yard Club, as well as Channel 15's Most Valuable Player. Although John and former inductee Pete Olson did not approach sports with the same perspective, Krugman credits his coach with providing him with more determination than ever to excel at basketball and baseball. As a 3-year basketball letter winner, John helped the team to consecutive city championships, and individually was second team All-City twice, was first team All-City in 1968, and honorable mention All-Conference in 1967. In baseball, he won 2 varsity letters, was first team All-City twice, and the team won the 1968 city championship. Adversity besets and tests most athletes at some point in their careers. Krugman's came between his senior football and basketball seasons. In his last football game, John suffered a serious knee injury that doctors believe required major surgery, which at the time was not always successful. The injury threatened to curtail his senior year of competition and future scholarship opportunities. Ignoring medical advice, he relied on his family's faith in God and vigorous water rehabilitation exercises in the school pool any free moment he had. The knee responded, and he only ended up missing 5 basketball games his senior year. After La Follette, John played 2 years at Iowa Central Community College, where he lettered in baseball, basketball, and football. In baseball, he led the team in batting, home runs, and runs batted in as a freshman, and was an all-conference first baseman. The football team was conference champion and won the Wool Bowl in Roswell, New Mexico. Individually, Krugman was named Team Most Valuable Player, All-Conference Running Back, and garnered the prestigious Junior College All-American Award. Returning to Madison, John joined the Wisconsin football team as a fullback and punter for his last years of college eligibility. Although he didn't see many reps in the backfield, he became a premier punter in the Big Ten. Krugman still ranks as the 7th best punter in UW history, with a 39.8-yard average. The Krugmans are a fine example of the multi-generational Oscar Mayer family, once a common city presence and now an extinct entity with the 2017 plant's closure. Working there since getting a college summer job on a 3rd shift, his father and twin brother were already employees, John decided to work at the plant full-time. He said, "You could make about $8,000 a year as a school teacher or $13,000 a year at Oscars, and I had a young family to think about." Athletically, John remained active in slow-pitch softball and YMCA basketball, but now his focus is more on bowling. He's had the elusive 300 game and the 800 series. In golf, he's had 3 holes in 1, and he has mentored in the First Tee program. Today, family time is the focus. John and wife Becky love spending time with their daughters, Wendy, Pam, and Mandy, their spouses, and their grandchildren, Xavier and Genesis. They also love traveling up north to their summer cottage. Asked to reflect on his sports career and induction, John said that, "It's been such an honor to have been able to play sports all my life. I would just love to play the game, no matter what game it is, for as long as I possibly can." Krugman is very honored to be joining such an elite group of Madison athletes and especially pleased that it indirectly highlights his teammates on the undefeated 1967 City, Big 8, and state championship football team. These players still remain friends today, getting together to reminisce, laugh, and catch up on each other's lives. One of those teammates, Dan Egan, who suffered a horrific football injury in that year, has been a true inspiration to him. John knows Dad is smiling from above at tonight's event. He just wishes his dad could have been in the audience to share in something he had contributed so much to. The Madison Sports Hall of Fame Club and Strand Associates Incorporated are honored to welcome John Krugman into the class of 2019.
And we welcome John Krugman into the Madison Sports Hall of Fame. Our next inductee, Peggy McCarthy Bailey.
Fittingly, Wisconsin saw the premiere this past December of Alice Austern's new play, The Girls in the Boat. The production is a love letter to women's rowing history, touching on the Title IX protests, the 1975 Red Rose crew, and the 1976 Olympic team. The director, Marcella Kearns, notes that the play focuses on the greatest legacy of a noble sport, which promotes the theme that unity is the best hope for victory. How e pluribus unum, out of many, one both rewards and costs them. The characters are composites based on people like Carrie Graves, past Hall inductee Jackie Zock, and today's inductee. Although she was born in Urbana, Illinois to now deceased James and Joan McCarthy, Peggy grew up in Madison with younger siblings, Sister Pat and Brother Jim. Her athletic path did not follow the typical organized youth high school sport model, but she certainly was active. She enjoyed family sailing, cruising on Lake Michigan, and in Canada on vessels that could sleep the whole family. Her introduction to Colorado's mountains, where she now lives, came with her participation in Memorial High School Ski Club and its downhill and Nordic programs. Peggy was an equestrian, riding her horse in many nice places, including along the sandy banks of the Wisconsin River and in Governor Nelson State Park. Finally, she enjoyed regularly running with her dad, a college 2-miler. McCarthy definitely was active, but just not really interested in competitive team sports. 2 life events precipitated her involvement with organized sports. Past inductee John Olson honed her track and field skills in high school physical education. While she was learning how to run hurdles, he commented how Peggy was one of the most natural hurdlers he'd ever seen and encouraged her to join the track team. Although the timing made joining the team impossible, McCarthy believes that his comment had a huge positive impact on her. For the first time, she began to think that she could be a good athlete. Randy Jablonic, another past inductee, luckily recruited her for crew as she stood in line to register for classes at UW-Madison. Peggy recalls that she might not have been noticed, but wearing platform sandals made her look quite tall, height being an advantage in rowing. Jay Mimier, her coach for all 4 years, gave this newbie a lot of room to grow and be herself. He made rowing fun, a mindset that continues to inspire and motivate her even today. McCarthy quickly developed her skills, and as a freshman, she rowed at the number 3 oar for the women's eights, which won the 1975 National Collegiate Rowing Championship in the first year of varsity women's rowing. In 1977 and 78, the boat was the runner-up at the Nationals, and Peggy was named the 1978 team captain. Over the years, the 1975 boat members have rowed in reunion races 4 times, winning in the 2005 Edmonton, Alberta World Masters only 23 seconds slower than their original championship time. In 1976, Peggy was selected with 19 other women to train with the first ever U.S. national and Olympic team led by Harry Parker, legendary Harvard's men's coach. She was a 5-time national team member from 1976 to 1980. The inclusion of women rowers in the Olympics marked a true coming of age for women's rowing in the U.S. as well as worldwide. As the youngest rower and team newcomer, McCarthy was at the number 3 oar position on the bronze medal-winning U.S. eights boat, along with UW rowers Graves and Zock. Peggy remarked at the time that the team had to battle a strong headwind. We're in the worst lane, the roughest lane, and had to contend with choppy water. Third is a little hard to take, but there were 3 other boats behind us who would have loved to have had the bronze. She would have participated in the 1980 Olympics, but for the U.S. boycott. The development of the U.S. women's 8-boat, however, was demonstrated by its win over the East Germans and Soviets at the Lucerne, Switzerland Regatta, and a prelude to the Olympic Games. In 1981, Peggy was one of the first women to be invited to row in the Coxed Four at the Henry Royal Regatta in England, an event begun in 1839. She and her teammates won a gold medal in rowing's equivalent to golf's British Open. Graves and McCarthy were the first 2 women invited to participate in the Aramco Nile River Regatta in Egypt in the same year. Their training together at the UW and later on Boston's Charles River prepared them for victory in the 2-person shell. Ironically, had it not been for the Olympic boycott, they might not even have participated in the event. In recognition of her trailblazing achievements, the National Rowing Hall of Fame has inducted Peggy twice. In 1991 as a 1980 Olympic 8 crew member with Graves, and in 2016 for her 1976 Olympic bronze 8 medal with Graves and Zoke. Today, McCarthy remains athletically active in Colorado. In rowing, she races a single shell on Lake Dillon and serves as a vice president and instructor for the Frisco Bay Rowing Center, working to recruit new members through the organization's Learn to Row events. The club provides rowing instruction, conditioning, and competitions for novice as well as experienced rowers. Her childhood love for downhill and Nordic skiing continues, but she has added mountain biking to her repertoire. After receiving a Bachelor of Science degree with honors in civil, environmental, and hydraulic engineering from the UW, and a Master's of Science degree in Water Resource Management from the University of Colorado at Boulder, Peggy has worked as a professional engineer and certified floodplain manager in Colorado. She's specialized in water resources and aquatic restoration in such award-winning projects as the Blue River Restoration in downtown Breckenridge and habitat enhancement projects for endangered fish species on the Colorado and Green Rivers. Reflecting upon her induction, Peggy commented that Madison, as a very supportive, caring community, promotes the sense that one's athletic endeavors is more about being a well-rounded person and less about the number of wins. She said, "I honestly feel that someone like me, with no early organized sports background prior to college, had a fighting chance to excel in athletics in a town like Madison. So this means a great deal." McCarthy also extends a special thanks to Carrie Graves, whom she calls the rock star of women's rowing, for her incredible support and the wonderful experience that they've shared rowing and training together. The Madison Sports Hall of Fame Club and Strand Associates Incorporated are honored to welcome Peggy McCarthy Bailey into the class of 2019.
We welcome into the Madison Sports Hall of Fame, Peggy McCarthy Bailey. Our next inductee, Mike Plautz.
Besides his induction, 2 other events will forever mark 2019 as a special year in Mike's life. In the fall, he and wife Mary Dwyer will celebrate their 25th wedding anniversary, and next month will be the 50th anniversary of his first Madison City Golf Championship. As a 20-year-old, he became the first public links player to win the tournament, beating Dave Lund by 1 stroke on the last hole at Yahara Hills. Bonnie Ryan, Capital Sports Times reporter, wrote that Plautz was a confident youngster who is developing a great future for himself in the golfing world. Mike would remain a committed public links player and advocate his entire career. Sanford and Sarah Plautz met and married in Midland, Texas, after his return from World War II. Along with his now deceased older brother Ted, his parents settled in their longtime Madison home on Charles Lane. When Mike was born in 1948, this was considered the far west side. Reflecting on their influence, Mike believes his work ethic and quiet personal demeanor mirrors his dad. Mom, who graduated from college at 19, fostered his competitive spirit and an attitude of, "They're not any better than you are," which Plautz believes has served him well in sports and business. He says that in competition, "I don't get nervous, it just gets the adrenaline flowing, and that helps me." Supportive and encouraging but never pushy, his parents attended nearly every basketball and baseball game and golf tournament. The neighborhood was filled with children, and Mike's life was dominated by constant pickup games of baseball, basketball, and football. Plautz Pitch's Perfect Game was his first newspaper headline at age 9, playing for Rensselaer's Floral in the Midget Baseball League. The team, with Mike pitching, dominated its division every year until the West Side Finals, when the dreaded Shamrocks, led by the Sweeneys, Dennis, Tim, and Vince, would claim the championship. Ploutz's Little League team, the Kings, coached by a skinny 29-year-old George Fabian, reached the state's tournament semifinals before losing. But his baseball career was short-lived because a sore shoulder from too many curveballs put him over the hill as a teenager, and because the neighborhood baseball diamond was destroyed in order to construct Odana Golf Course. Plautz told journalist Holly Gruber in a 1978 interview that he just decided to take up golf and was hooked immediately. Golf filled the baseball void. Odana managers Chuck Farley and Rudy Plock gave Mike and his friends odd jobs around the clubhouse, rewarding them with free playing privileges. They chipped, putted, and hit shag balls for countless hours. Like his golf idol Arnold Palmer, he would force himself to make 3 12-footers in a row before he could go home for dinner. 40 years later, he was fortunate to meet Palmer and play golf with him. By age 12, Plautz was beating most of the adults he knew and entered his first city junior tournament when he was 14. He had never played at a country club before and rarely with older boys, yet he won by 3 strokes. Ironically, in the same tournament, Hall of Fame inductee Andy North finished in 3rd place in the 3rd flight, 20 shots behind Mike. Mike has been waiting for 56 years to beat him again. At Madison West, Plautz was a letter winner on a basketball team that had 8 Division I college athletes, including former inductees Tom Betcher and Stu Voigt. Unfortunately for Coach Stevens, only one, Glenn Riggles, was a basketball prospect. As a senior, Mike was honorable mention All-City and the team's 2nd leading scorer. As a high school golfer for Clark Bynum, who displayed the patience of Job with Mike's occasional temper outbursts, he helped his team win 3 city titles, 2 Big 8 titles, and 1 WIAA state championship, while individually winning 1 city title. Plautz was a non-scholarship golfer at the UW for 4 years, captaining the freshman team his first year, playing as the varsity team's 3rd man in his 2nd year, and golfing as the lead player his 3rd year. He was elected senior captain the following year, but a heavy course load in the business school, he graduated with a BA in marketing, and the need to work 20 hours a week to finance his schooling ended his interscholastic competition. Mike's 20-plus year competitive career is highlighted not only by championships, but also for his unflagging advocacy for public links player equity. Competing against formidable players like Warren Daly, Jeff Rader, and Harry Simonson, he won 2 city junior tournaments, 4 city men's titles, 4 city public links championships, and numerous runner-up finishes. On the state level, Plautz in 1971 was the first public links player to win the WSGA medal play tournament, and in 1975 was the first Madisonian to win the state public links tournament. In the 48 city and state tournaments he played, Mike won 12, finished in the top 5 in 31, and never missed a cut. Beginning in 1966, with his first and only newspaper letter to the editor, Mike has fought for maintaining player opportunities on municipal courses and fairness to public links athletes in Wisconsin State Golf Association tournaments. As Gene Haas, longtime executive director, stated, Mike Plautz helped change the policies of the WSGA. Today's competitive public players should recognize Mike's efforts in making this happen. Golf has played an integral part in Mike's professional life. Working for Rayovac for 32 years, the last 10 as international marketing director, he had the chance to play with notable professional golfers like Pat Bradley, Andy North, Arnold Palmer, and Tom Watson at memorable venues such as Scotland's St. Andrews and California's Pebble Beach. His work with North greatly benefited the Wisconsin Special Olympics, and with Palmer influenced the promotion of hearing aid use. Playing with Palmer at Arnold's home course was a definite lifetime highlight. Mike started the round with an excellent drive. The King's appraisal of the competition was, oh, so that's the way it's going to be. And Palmer proceeded to shoot 3 under and thoroughly trounce Plouts. Daily walks, volunteer time, gardening, travel, and grandparenting occupy Mike and Mary's time these days. Reflecting about his induction, Plouts stated that selection to the Hall of Fame is a true honor because few golfers have been chosen before him, and special because he is the first public links player named. Mike will be forever grateful to the Madison Public Schools and teachers like Len Rush and Ray Clausen for their perfect blend of discipline and love, and his mentors at Odana for shaping his personal values and helping him to excel in the game called golf. The Madison Sports Hall of Fame Club and Strand Associates Incorporated are honored to welcome Mike Plouts into the class of 2019.
And we welcome Mike Plouts into the Madison Sports Hall of Fame. We want to thank all of you for joining us for the 57th Annual Madison Sports Hall of Fame Banquet. We congratulate again our award winners. We thank the award presenters. And congratulations again to our new Hall of Fame inductees. A reminder that tonight's ceremony has been recorded in its entirety and will be available for viewing on the club's website and will be on the Facebook page in about a week. You've heard a lot about the timing sheet that Peg and Greg Mueller put together, this being their last banquet. My closing remarks should wrap up at 8:59. That was the plan before we started. It is exactly 8:59 Central Time. All right. We appreciate the support of our sponsors and appreciate all of you in the audience for taking time out of your busy schedules to celebrate a very special evening. Thanks again for coming, and good night. Oh, you guys made it all happen.
I want to watch sports at once. I was going to tell Jocko that.
Well, not tonight.